Let me ask you something. When was the last time someone told you that you could own a Patek Philippe for under $10,000? Not a replica, not an homage, an actual Patek Philippe. Manually wound, gold case, Geneva seal, made in the same atelier as the perpetual calendars that sell at auction for $500,000. Because that watch exists. It's sitting on the secondary market right now. And the only reason most people don't know about it is that the conversation around Patek almost always starts and ends with the Nautilus and the Aquanaut, which means that the rest of the catalog, 90 years of it, goes completely overlooked. 7 watches today, every single one carrying the full weight of what Patek Philippe represents, just at prices that don't require you to be on a first-name basis with your banker. Let's go. Number 7, Patek Philippe Calatrava, reference 3520. This is the one that changes how you think about what affordable Patek actually means. A 1965 Calatrava, 32 millimeters of 18-karat white and yellow gold dual-tone case in a combination you genuinely don't see often. Manual wind caliber 23, hours and minutes only. Acrylic crystal, period correct. White dial with applied gold indices and baton hands. The kind of watch that doesn't announce itself across the room because it was never designed to. The Calatrava line is what Patek built its entire identity on. Purest expression of Geneva dress, watchmaking. Launched in 1932 and never fundamentally altered. The 3520 is a documented example of that lineage from 6 decades ago. Available on the secondary market from $9,411 to $19,995. For a clean example with an original dial and provenance documentation, $12,000 to $15,000 is realistic and defensible. A manually wound gold Patek from the same era most collectors treat as untouchable. And it isn't. Number 6, Patek Philippe Calatrava White Gold, reference 5196G. If the 3520 is the vintage entry point, the 5196G is where the modern Calatrava story begins. And the secondary market gap here is the most useful number in this entire video. Retail is approximately $30,000. Secondary market trades between $18,574 and $33,215, with clean, well-documented examples regularly available in the $22,000 to $26,000 range. That means you can acquire a current generation Calatrava in 18-karat white gold with the caliber 215, PS manually wound movement, Geneva seal certified, exhibition caseback, for roughly $8,000 to $10,000 below what Patek boutiques charge new. 37 millimeters of white gold, slim enough to disappear under a shirt cuff, substantial enough to have presence at a formal occasion. Silver gray dial with applied baton, indices, and Dauphine hands. Manual winding. Small seconds at 6. 65 hours of power reserve. For a buyer who wants a modern-era Patek dress watch without the modern-era Patek price, the secondary market on this reference is the most honest value proposition in the entire Patek catalog right now. Number 5. Patek Philippe Golden Ellipse Brown Dial, reference 3738. Here is something most people who talk about Patek never mention. The Golden Ellipse was designed using the golden ratio, not as a marketing claim, as a literal geometric principle. The case measures 31 by 35.6 millimeters, a ratio of approximately 1 to 1.15, which falls within the range of the divine proportion that appears in natural forms in classical architecture. Patek introduced this case in 1968 and has maintained it unchanged because the mathematics make changing it impossible to justify. You cannot improve a case shape built around a universal proportion. This rose gold version with a brown sunburst dial and the caliber 240 ultra-thin automatic inside sits between $21,218 and $46,144 on the secondary market. Clean examples at the lower end represent something genuinely rare. A rose gold Patek with an in-house ultra-thin automatic and a case geometry based on actual mathematical philosophy for under $25,000. The brown dial shifts from chocolate to amber under warm light. Nothing else in Patek's catalog looks like it. Number 4. Patek Philippe Aquanaut Luce Quartz, reference 5267/200A. You need to know something before we talk about this watch. The quartz movement is the reason it costs what it costs, and that is exactly the information that makes the buying decision sensible, not apologetic. The 5267/200A uses the same Aquanaut case as the mechanical references. 38.8 millimeters of stainless steel. Rounded octagonal bezel, distinctive embossed gray dial, composite tropical strap. The difference is inside, a quartz caliber rather than the caliber 324SC that the mechanical Aquanaut carries. That movement difference accounts for most of the price gap, available at around $24,632. What the quartz version gives you is the full Aquanaut identity: the case, the dial, the strap, the 120 meters of water resistance, the diamond set bezel on this specific configuration, at a price that doesn't require boutique waitlists or gray market premiums. As a daily wear Aquanaut for someone who wants a sports watch presence without the investment thesis. This makes more practical sense than any other reference on this list. Number 3, Patek Philippe Aquanaut Steel, reference 5167A. If you have been following this channel, you have probably heard this number before, because it is the number that defines what Patek sports watch collecting means in 2026. Retail is approximately $27,257. Secondary market trades between $45,000 and $60,000. That gap, a minimum of $17,000 above what Patek charges, is not a recent phenomenon, and it is not narrowing. It has been sustained by consistent demand from buyers who cannot access the watch at retail and are willing to pay the premium rather than wait indefinitely. The 5167A is the steel Aquanaut in its most fundamental expression. 40 millimeters, black embossed dial, tropical rubber strap, caliber 324SC automatic with 45 hours of power reserve, exhibition caseback. We are including this one not because it is a value play. It is not. But any honest list of Patek's accessible references has to acknowledge what the market has decided it is worth. Retail is still lower than most comparable sports watches from other prestigious houses. The secondary market made its own decision. Both things can be true simultaneously. Number 2, Patek Philippe Calatrava Hobnail, reference 6119G. The hobnail Clou de Paris bezel pattern has appeared on Patek Calatravas since 1934. When Patek chose to revive it on the 6119G in 2021, they were connecting a contemporary movement to 9 decades of design continuity. And the collector market responded with exactly the kind of sustained appreciation that understated Patek references tend to attract. 39 millimeters of 18-karat white gold. The hobnail pattern across the bezel surface is tactile, deliberate, and deeply satisfying. Silver gray dial with applied Roman numerals and Dauphine hands. Manual wind caliber 30-255 PS with 65 hours of power reserve. Exhibition caseback. Alligator strap with white gold buckle. At $37,510 retail and trading between $35,000 and $42,000 secondary. The 6119G sits at a price where the secondary market hasn't generated explosive premiums. What it generates instead is consistent, steady appreciation from buyers purchasing for quality and history, not speculation. Those buyers rarely sell, which tells you exactly what the long-term trajectory looks like. Number 1, Patek Philippe Golden Ellipse Anniversary, reference 5738R. The anniversary edition of the Golden Ellipse arrived in 2018, marking 50 years of the case shape that started with a mathematical idea and became one of the most distinctive profiles in watchmaking. This rose gold version with the blue sunburst dial and caliber 240 ultra-thin automatic is the current production flagship of that lineage. What makes the caliber 240 significant beyond its slim profile is the peripheral micro-rotor. Instead of a full-sized oscillating weight taking up movement space, a small rotor integrated at the edge keeps the case at an almost implausible slimness on the wrist. 48 hours of power reserve, Geneva Seal certified. At $43,110 retail and trading between $40,000 and $50,000 secondary, The 5738R trades essentially flat to retail. In the context of Patek sports models, that looks like stagnation. In the context of a rose gold dress watch with an ultra-thin movement and a mathematically derived case, it reads as a stable and patient market for a piece with serious long-term credentials. 7 Patek Philippe watches, $9,000 to $43,000. Cheapest Patek doesn't mean a compromised version. It means the part of the catalog the hype hasn't touched yet, where the quality is identical and the price just hasn't caught up to what the watch actually is. Pay attention to that gap. It is not going to stay open forever. Which one landed for you? Drop it in the comments, subscribe for more. I will see you in the next one.